we're starting today's training just right now. Like others that are not around will join us very soon. Yeah, we. I hope everybody can hear me, please. All right. David Ryan, please can you hear me? All right. Stephen Toluwalope, can you hear me, please? All right. Very good. Very good. So, right now we'll be starting, and I want to reference what we learned last week. Well, the truth is, there is a shortage of GIS analysts, and that's why we as GIS specialists are trying to onboard as many people as possible to have this hands-on knowledge, like to have many people who have hands-on knowledge about GIS, and that's why we are here today again to um, make us understand the basics and principles, the modus operandi of GIS as much as we can. So right here, I'm Okoyemi Fatayo, just by way of introduction. I was here last week too, and I hope everybody enjoyed ourselves last week. And I'll be taking us through a part of this of today's training. And yes, I have an esteemed colleague that will be partnering with me today, and we'll be delivering the course together today. So please, Miss Joy Ayunda, please could you kindly introduce yourself to the class? Thank you. Oh yes, I hope you you all will have a good time with just like we all did with myself and Lawrence last week. All right, I enjoyed myself last week too, so let's proceed from here. So in the first place, we were given an assignment last week, and um, David has submitted, and I actually want to commend you for that. Yeah, I've checked through, and I've seen what you did for a first timer on Google Earth. I think you've done very well. So would give appropriate grade at the end of the day. And those that are yet to submit should kindly do so too. We'll give the grades till maybe tonight or tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. Anyone we decide on, we'll get back to you. All right. So let me share my screen. I hope everybody has. David and Steven. I hope you have your ArcGIS running. Is your ArcGIS running? Not yet, but you have power on your laptop, right? It's running. Oh, very good. So please run your ArcMap, please run it. So we need to do some things right now. Thank you. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. I'll be sharing my screen so everybody can see what we're doing today for my own part before I hand over to Joy. Okay. So if you have your ArcMap running, please. I think I want to believe that this is the interface that your hack map has, right? This is how your hack map looks like, right, everybody? All right, just cancel it. Just cancel it. But you've been able to install it, right, Steven? All right. Oh, very good, very good, very good. All right. So, this is actually how a hack map that has not been used would look like. It's very, very fresh page. It's void of it's just like in a state of let's say tabula rasa as we all know tabula rasa is just like a state of emptiness. Yes, so this is how it will like look like in the first place. So please everybody just follow as I take you through some things that you need to activate before we proceed with today's training. All right, so in the first place, go to customize. You see, these are actually what we call toolbars. These are toolbars around here. You have file, edit, view, bookmark, insert, selection, geoprocessing, customize. You have Windows, you have help, you have new file, you have open, save, print, cut, copy, paste, delete, undo, redo, then add data. You have editor, you have table of contents, catalog, search, Toolbox, Python, and then model builder. You have zoom in, zoom out, pan, full extent. You have fixed zoom in, fixed zoom out. You have select elements. We have, I mean, a number of tools. We have identify here, we have mesh find, then we have measure here. You have select features, then deselect feature, clear selected features. You have, I mean, a host of tools right here on your ArcMap. So before we start, there are things that we call extensions in ArcMap. Now, these extensions are actually the ones that allow you to perform different analysis that you have in GIS, be it 3D analysis, be it spatial analysis, network analysis, and all. So you need to actually go to your customize. So please, as I'm doing it right now, just follow suit. Go to customize, click on it, then you see something like extensions. Are we together, Steven and David? All right, so go to extensions and open it. So you see all the extensions that are supported by this version of ArcGIS. But this is ArcGIS 10.5. So if you check 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, they might not have all these extensions. You understand? So make sure you check everything. Check them. Check them one after the other. Check them. Please. So once you check them, then close. If you go back there to extensions, you see that they are checked already. So you could actually do network analysis, schematics, fascia analysis, track analysis, anything that you want to do, and then you won't have to, come back here to activate anything. So the next thing, I'm just taking you through this ArcGIS interface right now, and the next thing that I would be telling you is okay, when you have your ArcGIS as void as this, then you need to bring in some important tabs, important windows that you use most of the time. So if you check under these windows, if you check under these windows, you see something like a table of contents, you see catalog, you see search, you see add toolbox, and all. So the ones that are very very important to this to you, I mean, almost all the time are these table of contents, also called TOC, catalog, and then search and add toolbox. So we'll be bringing them in one by one. Now click on table of contents. Now by the time you click on table of contents, you may have something like this, something like floating, a kind of floating window. So what you do to make it permanent on your ArcGIS interface is just double click on this blue part, on this void part here. Just double click on it, and then it docks it. So we call them dockable windows. We call them dockable windows. So it has been docked here. So now what's the essence of this table of contents? Everything that you are working on within this space, you will see the layers, like they will line them up right here. Do you understand? So you have all your layers lined up here when you are working within this ArcGIS interface. You see it as I proceed. And then the next one is catalog. Now this catalog is just like your entire storage. Our catalog is where you manage your data, where you save your data. We talked about um, we talked about the subsystems of ArcGIS, whereby we have the data input and retriever subsystem. So this is actually where catalog belongs to. It belongs to where you store your data and then retrieve it from. So click on catalog too. It will be floating too. So by the time it's floating, just double click the same way you double click table of contents. Just double click your catalog too. Then it docks it right here for you. Then move on to your search. Now what's the essence of this search button? This search icon is just like, okay, maybe you are clueless of what you want to do on GIS. Okay, let me just bring in my search. It will be floating too. Once it floats, just double click and then it brings it here too. So you can see catalog here and you can see search here. So you can always toggle between catalog here and search here. So you have the two functions right here. All right, so what's the essence of this search icon? This search icon is just like, okay, assuming you are clueless of a particular tool that you want to use in GIS, maybe you don't know where the tool is, then you can actually come back here, like come to search here and type anything you want to do. Something like, okay, maybe you want to generate X and Y coordinates. Just type X, Y, and then click on enter, or this search button right here. So it brings you everything that is pertaining to generating X and Y. Say add XY coordinate on data management tool, make XY event layer on it. So it gives you So this search bar is just like your Google or ArcMap. It gives you the result of anything that you want. All right. So the next one we are looking at is oh, you can see the search results. No, 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 it's not the reason. You would see it if you type something like okay, maybe quadrats, quadrats, and search. It's going to if it's not there, it's going to tell you that. Can you see my screen? Can you still see my screen very well? Oh, but you can't see the search results. Okay, okay. You meant you can't the your own computer is not bringing in out the search results, right? Oh no, no. Once you type whatever you are searching, strike enter or click on this search button here, this icon. So it's going to bring you the result. So you don't need to connect to the internet to use ArcMap actually, unless you want to connect to ArcGIS online, definitely. All right. So moving on from search. Thank you for that, Steven. Thank you. It means you are following. All right, David. I hope you are following. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. All right, so the next thing here is your hack toolbox. Now, we mentioned something about search right now that if you don't know a particular tool that you want to use, it's just this hack toolbox is just like your mechanic toolbox. You have spanner size 12, size 11, size 10, you have size 16. But then you might if you are trying to work on something and you don't know what particular tool you are using from this array of tools, from this line of tools, then that's when you use your search button. And then the funniest thing is sometimes your tool, by the time you check all these tools, by the time you check what they are made of, you might not see a particular tool that you are looking for, but then by the time you type it in your search box, you find it. I've experienced it very well, such that you won't see where the tool is right here. So this app toolbox, you can dock. It's a dockable window too. It takes you to this. It's once you dock it, it takes you to this left part. So just double click as usual, and then you can unpin it. See this pin, right? Can you see this pin? If you click on this pin, then it's going to hide it. Just like so, you can always come back to it right here. Just click on this. If you want to pin it to your screen, just click on this pin. It stays. But if you want to hide it again, just click on this and then it hides it on this side panel. So if you want to hide your table of content too, just click on this auto hide. It hides it there too. So you can always come back to it right here and activate it. Same thing for your search. You can, hide it. Same thing for your catalog. You can pin it or hide it, anyone. But I always pin my catalog because, you get to use it quite often. So that's that about toolbox. So your hack toolbox is where you have, series of tools for your ArcGIS operations. Series of tools, series of them, like a whole number of them. You see something like raster class, raster math, data management tools, stuff like that. And you have cartography tools, a whole lot of them. You have conversion tools, which we are going to use conversion tool today. Yes, conversion tool. Then you have data interoperability, editing, geocoding, geostatistics, linear referencing. You have spatial analysis tool, where you do your hydrology, whatever. I mean, overlay, solar radiation, anything. Then you have your spatial statistics, where you have, all this analyzing your pattern. By the time you want to do some spatial analysis, spatial pattern analysis, you come. So this Arc Toolbox is actually, it's a gem that you should, it's a treasure that you should value very, very much. So that's the usefulness of Arc Toolbox. So, and then I think I've talked about table of contents, catalog. I've talked about search. Search makes your work easy. If you don't know where you're going, if you want to use something like, let me say, map algebra and you don't know where it is, just come to your search, type, map algebra, and then it takes you there. You understand? It takes you there. Like map algebra. So it takes you to map algebra, and then you choose the one you want to use, maybe raster calculator or something, then you proceed with your work. So that's the function of this search icon. It makes your work very, very easy, very, very easy. All right, so I think our screen is getting populated bit by bit. All right, the next thing you would want to do, the next thing you would want to do for when you are trying to use your okay, let me just bring in. Okay, now before I go to bringing in some data, I told you that your catalog is where you have your the entire thing that is on your laptop. you want to bring it into ArcGIS. So every file that is readable by ArcMap, by Arc, every file that is supported by ArcGIS, you are able to bring them into ArcGIS through your catalog right here. So I think everybody can see where your folder connection is. This catalog. So you see something like folder connection. Can you see folder connection? Can you see folder connection, please? David and Steven. Oh, hey, sorry about that. Okay, you could actually take notes. You can take notes so that you would get back to it by yourself and then. All right, very good. All right, so when you see this your folder connection, just right click on it. And when you right click on it, you see something like connect to folder. So click on connect to folder, and then you see your desktop, you see this PC, whatever, whatever. Just click on desktop. Click on desktop once, then click OK. Once you click OK, everything on your desktop will be brought into ArcMap. So you can always access everything that you have on your desktop within your ArcMap. So this is everything that is on my desktop. I have just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are folders that ArcMap can read from my desktop. So check my desktop out. I think you could see that I have how many folders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because why are these ones not showing? This is GPS Way, this is Zoom, this is Mozilla. They are not ArcMap files. They are not readable by ArcMap. So that is why only the folders are showing on my ArcMap. So once you connect to folder like that, everything on your desktop will be brought into ArcMap. I think that's very clear, right? Let me get a response before I proceed. All right, very good. Thank you. So the next thing we'll do right now is I'll just try to demonstrate some things to you using all these tools that we have here, using some of the tools rather. Don't let me say whole, some of the tools because we are still going to georeferencing and digitizing, which my colleague will be taking. So I won't want to take more time from here, and I need to work on the previous assignment. So let me just bring in some vector data. I think we can remember the difference between vector and raster based on last week's class. So let me just bring in something from the last from my work. Let me just bring something from my work and okay, okay. All right. Okay. Come in. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Where did I put this thing? I'm sorry for the delay. I'm trying to fix something now. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me just use some data from here to demonstrate how these things work. Okay, good. Sorry. What do you say? Sorry. Oh yeah, I just want to show you how some things work right here. All right, so now look at this right now. I just want to show you how these buttons, how these icons work. You see, some of them were not active before, but then right now they're active. So look at this identify button in the first place. So if you click on identify, and you don't have this data, so don't worry, you will still get to use it. I just want to show you how they work here. So this is a point right here. This is a point feature right here. So if I click on it, it's going to tell me everything that is on the attribute table of this particular point. So something like, okay, point something, what's the town name, Gaida or something. All right, let me just click something within Nigeria because that one is outside. All right, cool. This is Ikoyi, somewhere in southwestern Nigeria. I think it's in Osun State. Yes, beside Ikire, in Osun State. So this is another place. This is Kwara. So if you click on identify, this particular identify icon is, and you click on any feature, then it's going to tell you about that feature, just like we have here. So the next thing is something like pan. If you look at this pan, if you click on this pan, you'll be able to use it to drag your map to anywhere on your ArcGIS interface. I think we understand. So that's the work of pan. You use it to drag your map all around, and then you have full extent. Now, assuming I zoomed my map in, or I zoomed it out. I've zoomed the map in now. You can't see the extent of the map. So if I click on full extent now, it's going to bring me back to show everything that is on this attribute table, on this table of contents rather. You remember I said the table of contents is something like a kind of window that contains everything that you have within this map frame. So this is my table of content. I have the towns as points, I have the coastline as this blue line, and I have the LGAs in Nigeria. So your pan will be able to, it will allow you to, take it to wherever you want to take it. Then if you click on full extent, then it brings it back. And then if you zoom in or zoom out, and then you want to bring it back to, where it used to be, then click on full extent. Now if you want to visualize this coastline only, just right click on coastline, then click on zoom to layer. It's going to bring out the coastline. I mean, very visible to you. Do you understand? So this is how it works. And then by the time you want to take it back, just click on full extent again. Takes you back to the normal output. So that's about that. Then your zoom in, you can use zoom in, click on it, then drag it like this. Then it's going to, amplify this particular area that you just clicked on. So if you have clicked on zoom in now, and then you want to amplify this part, you want to make it more conspicuous, just click on it, then it brings it out for you. If you have clicked on zoom out, and then you want to, zoom this particular place out, then it takes you, zoom out, this is zoom out. Then if you want to zoom it in again, just drag it like this, then comes out again. So that's how zoom in and zoom out. Then this is select. If you want to select a feature, maybe you want to delete it or you want to export it or something, just, click on it, click on this select button, and then if you want to deselect it, just click on this clear selected features, then it's clear. Do you understand, please? All right, so I hope we are still together, by the way. All right, so let's work on the assignment that we gave, and I'm going to work with David's assignment. I'm going to work with David's assignment because I think he's the only one that submitted. So what's the assignment? We were told to, digitize the features from Google Earth right here. We are told to digitize features from Google Earth, which David had done. So let me just take you back to the boundary to. All right, so this is the extent that was, you know, the extent in question that we asked you to digitize. So this is the boundary, then this is the polygon, one of the polygons. It's a building, so I use the polygon for it, and then this is the boundary itself. So you can do so many things. So obviously, when you are done, save place as, and then you save it to your local. You save it to your local disk. Do you understand? You save it to your local disk, and then you continue. So I want to use David's work. I've downloaded his work. So now what you do right now is you want to convert that KML file that you saved from Google Earth. You want to convert it to shapefile so that it will be visible within the ArcGIS environment, and then you can use it for your cartographic work. All right, so what you do right now is, okay, before I go to that aspect, if you look at this empty space right here, empty space on this part, and you right click on it, you see so many tools that you use for your work in GIS. You see 3D analysis, you see animation, you see Kogo, you see this animation. If you want to do your maybe GIF or something, you can use it for it. You see this Kogo coordinate geometry, you see draw tool, editor, feature wherever, geocoding, georeferencing. I mean, so many tools that you can use for your GIS analysis and all like that. So that if you right click on the, sorry, if you right click on this part, you see all those tools right here. So now we proceed to bringing in your KML file into ArcGIS, bringing your KML file into ArcGIS for cartography. All right, so assuming you have gone to your Google Earth and then you've been able to digitize everything that you want to digitize, maybe the entire Nigeria or something, I don't know, and then you want to bring in those files into ArcGIS, how do you do it? Come on, just come back to your ArcToolbox. I asked you to activate your ArcToolbox the other time. So just come to your ArcToolbox and then come to conversion tools. I hope we are together, Stephen and David. All right, very good. So just come to your conversion tools and then expand it. Now, by the time you have your conversion tools, you see Excel. Then if you open Excel, so you have Excel to table, table to Excel. You have from GPS, from KML, from PDF, from wherever, to CAD. Don't forget that I said something last week, that the difference between JS and computer-aided drafting is just analysis. You can convert your AutoCAD files into shape files, and then you can convert your shape files into AutoCAD. So you can use these two to do that, and then I'll show you the other way when we are trying to when we are further in this lesson. All right, so you have so many tools here, but the one that we are concerned with right now is what? From KML, because our Google Earth data is in KML. So we want to convert it from KML to something else now. All right, so by the time you expand uh, um, this tool, then you have KML to layer. So double click on it, KML to layer, double click. So by the time you double click on it, it takes you to, now this is input KML file. It's telling you to browse your folders here. Go back to your computer. Don't forget that you have linked your computer to your catalog. So you go back to your computer and then go to where you saved that KML file. So just click on it and then it takes you to your computer. Sorry, I want to be sure I did the right thing. All right, so click on it. It takes you to your computer. Then I saved David's work on this particular folder. Assuming I'm just doing it, I'll just come back to my desktop. I know where I saved it, so it's on my folder, and it's right here at Prime Tech Training, then class 2. Then I have UNIU where I saved the KML file. Click on it, then open. It's loading. All right, now the next thing is output location. Now this output location is telling you that, okay, where do you want to save? We are converting from what to what? KML to layer. So what we are trying to achieve right now is a layer file. So where are you trying to save your layer file now? So that's what this output location is talking about. So just click on it too, and then define where you want to save your work. So right here, I want to save it on my desktop, to my folder, to Prime Tech, to training, then class 2. This is the folder in which I want to say. So you don't open this folder. No. Just click on it once, then add. So it's going to add it. So this is the path. Now this is the storage path. My C drive users, my name, then desktop, my folder, Prime Tech, training, then second class. Then the output name is UNIU based on what David used to save the assignment beforehand. So if you want to change the name, you can change, but I'll still leave it as UNIU here. Then the next thing is click OK. Click OK, then it runs. So we wait as ArcGIS tries to create a layer file for us from the KML. Then the full meaning of KML is keyhole markup language. Sorry, it's taking time. All right, very good. So this is David's work. Fortunately, David was able to digitize point, which is here, this UNIU annex. Then David is able to, he was able to digitize polylines, and then he was able to digitize polygons. So these are the polygons, the buildings and all. All right, so that's very, very beautiful. Although he did not complete the work, but then at least he did something, and that's the essence of it. So you can always, okay. The output, no, you don't need to name the output location. Now, if you have created, I hope you have created the folders for this training. Yes, so if you have created a folder for this training, then you could just click on that folder once, or maybe you create another folder inside that folder, call it maybe class 2 or something. Then you click on it once and then add. It is only the name that you can actually can you see my screen? All right, so you mean this output name, right? This output location. Now this output location, just click on your this thing. I know where I want to save mine. I'm saving it on this to class. Do you understand? So I'll click on it once and then I add. Do you get? Do you mean here? Okay. All right. Okay, so just go up one level like this. Up one level. Then what do you have on up one level? You see folders, right? You can't see any folder. Wow. Can you go back to your desktop? Just up one level to your desktop. Are you at your desktop now? All right, so double folders that you have, right? All right, so click on one of the folders where you want to save the work and then add. No, no, no. Just click on it and add. Okay, I think we are cool now, right? All right, so just click on it once, add. Then you will see the output name. Then you can define the output name if you want. If you don't want, you leave it there. All right. Don't worry, don't worry. Just leave it there. All right, I think we are clear now, right? All right. David, please, I hope we are together too. All right, very good. All right, so this is David's work, as I've said. Now, on a normal day, you are supposed to use polygon to delineate this. What? Sorry, I didn't get that, Steven. Okay. Can I ask you to share your screen? Oh, you are. Okay, okay. All right, no worries. Steven, just take the notes. I would address it in our closet. Do you understand? All right, I don't want to take much because I'm actually supposed to have stopped my class by now. All right, so now this is not your final result. This is not your final result. This is just what? A layer. These are layers. Like these are layer files. They are not shape files. Do you understand? So the next thing you have to do right now is convert these layer files to shape files. Do we understand? All right, I was trying to say something. Sorry, can everybody mute themselves, please? All right, cool. Thanks. I was trying to say something the other time that David, you are supposed to use polygon to delineate boundary. Yes, you use polygon to delineate, but then you made the work easier for me because right now I can talk about polygons, I can talk about lines, and then I can talk about points. So, but next time use polygon to delineate boundaries. All right. So what's the next thing you have to do right now? You have to, if you have 1,000 buildings within this particular space, everything would be under polygon. And if you have 1 million lines in this particular space, everything will be under polyline. It's not that one polyline for one layer file. And if you have 200 points right here, everything will still be under this point. So what you do right now is you export the points, export the polylines, then export the polygons into shapefile. So how do you do that? Just come to this your table of contents and then right click on points. When you right click on points, come down, you see data. Now, don't forget I said you can convert your shapefile to AutoCAD files. This is how to convert. Just go to export to card to CAD. But then we are not exporting it to CAD now. We are exporting it to shapefile. So you don't forget, come here, right click on your points, or whatever layer you want to export. Then come to data, come to export data. So then you see something like export what? All features. So please make sure you export all the features, unless you want to put some features out. Let's assume there are some other features. Let's assume there are some other buildings that are not within your view here. Then you can select in view extent. But if you want to export everything that you have digitized, make sure you select all features. Then it's saying this layers data source. Don't forget that before I brought this data in, I did not specify the coordinate system of this data frame. So it will be safe for me to use this layers data source. All right, so you see something like output feature class. Don't forget, everywhere you see output feature class, it is telling you where do you want to save your work. So come back to this folder, browse it. Then you see something like um, name, then whatever. But in the first place, you see something like file and personal geodatabase feature class. That's what you see. But then it's not what you want to export it to. You want to export it to shapefile. So click on this drop down arrow and then shapefile. Now, why am I here? It's because I've actually saved something right here in this folder today. If you have not, it might take you to your desktop. So just navigate to where you want to save your work. Navigate to where you want to save your work right here. So this is where I'm saving mine. So you open this folder where you want to save it and then give it a name. Let me say uni uyo point UUP. All right. So and then don't forget to change it from file and personal database to shapefile and then save. Then click OK. Then to tell you, do you want to add the exported map as a layer? Then click yes. Once you click yes, you are free to remove this point. Then right click on it, remove. So you have the point here. This is the point that you took from UniUO. And then do the same thing for polylines. So right click, data, export data, define where you want to save it. So let me say lines. Okay, UniUO lines. Then shapefile, don't forget. Then okay, then add it to the whatever too. So you can remove it too. Then I have the polygons. Right click on it too, data, export, save it. So this is sorry, I have UniUO polygons. So save it. Oh, okay, I have points already. All right, so I'll just say UniUO polygon. So save, and then okay, add it to layer. Do you want to add it as a whatever? Then yes. All right, so I have, now I can remove this now. So I have what I digitized from Google Earth as point, line, and then polygon, right? So I can actually, do so many editing as I want rather. So you can click on it right here, change the symbol to whatever thing you want, the size, the color. Let me use something like red and then put it. So this thing changes right here. Then the polygons, so you can decide to make it colorless. They look like this, or you can decide to give it any color that you want. So they look like this, like anything you want to do it. Then these lines too, you can decide to make it any. So this is where your processing begins, but we won't go into it in details today. Definitely would go more into embellishment next week. So that's that about that. So if you don't know the number of buildings that are within the extent that you delineated, you can just right click on this place and then click on open attribute table. So instead of counting your buildings, assuming you digitize the entire Ibadan, you have so many buildings to count. So instead of counting them, just right click and then select open attribute table. Then you can see here that we have 21 buildings right here. So if you count here, you see that you have 21 buildings. And then don't forget, this GIS works on binary system, so it starts from 0 to whatever. So if you have 20, know that you have 21 features. And if you have 10, if you have 0 to 10 here, know that you have 11. Do you understand? So if you want to check, okay, which building is which, just click here. You see that it's highlighted here. Then click here. This building is highlighted already. Click here. It's just telling you, okay, which building is which. Do you understand? So you can check as many buildings as possible. So if you have selected now, you can deselect it from here to clear selection, or if you select it from here too, you can still deselect it using this clear selection icon. So I think I've overstayed my time. Anyway, we started quite late, so I would want to assume that if at all we give you 1,000 locations to digitize right from Google Earth, you will be able to, digitize those points or polygons or lines or roads from Google Earth, and then you'll be able to, import it into ArcGIS as KML, and then export it from KML to layer file, and then from layer to shapefile that is actually recognized by ArcMap. So if you want to know the number of points that you have to, just right click, open attributable. We have just 1.0. Click on it, it highlights it here. You can deselect it from here, or you deselect it from here. And then if you want to know the number of lines that you have, open attributable to, click on it, it highlights it. You can deselect it from here, or come here to deselect it. If you want to identify whatever thing, you can click on it right here, and then it identifies it. So this is, name, road, folder path, UNIO, KML, UNIO, whatever attribute that you have, it will display it for you, right? And then this is the location, the coordinate, 7 point something, 5 point something. So, there are so many things that you can do with these little things in GIS. So I hope I've been able to run through the ArcGIS interface, the Arc catalog, and some other basic icons that you use with in GIS, and I'm able to work on your KML data and how to convert it to shapefile. So if you have any questions, you can put them on the group, either on the Google Classroom or on the WhatsApp group. We'll address them because we need to move into the next part of this training for today. Thank you very much for your attention. So I'll be handing over right now to Joy. Joy, please, you can take us through the next phase. Thank you. Yeah, sure.